I'm back. It's been 2 weeks. There have been art scavenger hunts, paint nights, drawing nights, holidays, all those things, but we're back. And we're going to change things up a little bit. In the past, the way that I do the art projects, I would say, this one's for kindergarten through 3rd grade. This one's for 4th grade. This one's for 5th grade. No more. I'm going to set them up into levels. Levels where I think that one project might be a little more detailed or more challenging than another. And I'm going to scale it 1 through 4. 1 being the simplest one with the least amount of attention to detail and challenges. So I'm going to talk about level 1 right now. So that no matter what grade level you're in, you can try all of these projects. I don't want to say a project's for 5th grade and the 1st grader really likes it and they think it's only for 5th graders. No. You could do those too. Perfectly fine. This is going to be the first project, the level 1 project. And this deals with things like negative space, shapes, repetition, and patterns. And these are my initials. Well, truth be told, I wasn't given a middle name. It's sad, I know. So I gave myself one. I gave myself a middle initial. I always wanted my middle name to be Michael, so that's what I did. J for Jason, M for Michael, D for D Maria. All set. Got all 3 initials. I'm happy again. My sister has a middle name. How come I didn't get a middle name? If you're watching, Jess, I'm coming after you. Alright, so the first thing you do, and I'll be showing you this, is you start with black letter initials on there first. Gotta go with that first. You want to touch the top of the paper and the bottom of the paper. When you can, hook to the sides of the paper. So say it's like an S, right? It started with an S. Say your first name is Samuel. The S would touch the top, curl, touch the side, come back, hook down to the bottom, touch the bottom, and then touch the edge again. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact. If it's the letter I, say your first name is Ivan. Just like my J, you put the top of the I here, straight down, put the bottom of the I on the bottom. Try to touch the edges of your paper. So let's talk about negative space. Negative space would be, forget about all the color, forget about all the shapes you see. Imagine there was just letters on here, and everything was white, other than the letters. Everything around the letters would be negative space. I have filled that negative space with shapes and colors. Patterns and repetitions. A repetition would be the same thing over and over again. A circle. You draw a circle here, and then the next one's a circle here, and the next one's a circle here, and the next one's a circle here. That's a repetition. A pattern is more than one element repeating itself. It's still repetition, but it's more complicated. Circle here, square here, circle here, square here, and so on. So basically, a pattern is repetition, but you're adding more than one thing. And there you have it. That's pretty much all you need to know. So I guess the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start on drawing and work from there. Okay? So I have a piece of paper and I wrote down 3 words. And I divided up my paper into 3 for my 3 words. The first word is shapes. Shapes, you know, like this shape. That'd be a circle. Then you have repetition. Repetition means the same thing over and over and over again. Okay? So I took this shape and repeated it. That's what repetition is. Then I have pattern. Pattern's a little bit different because you need more than one thing to make a pattern. So I'm going to do another shape right here. Let's keep this open. And I'll grab purple right here. So another shape would be a triangle. That moved on its own. That was Bob. Okay, so this is my triangle. repetition for a triangle? Well, yeah, it'd be this. Triangle, 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 triangle. Now, to make a pattern, what I would do is go circle, triangle, circle, triangle. What do you think's next? If I got circle, triangle, exactly. Elephant. No, I'm just kidding. Circle. And then, of course, the next one would be triangle. And that's a pattern right there. So what I'm doing with this paper, and if you do this project, what you can do, and you don't have to divide it up like this, you don't really need to write the words down. This is just to get to know these three words here. Shapes, repetition, pattern. What I'd like you to do is keep adding more things into this so you can build up ideas to put in your art project. How many shapes can you do? Can you make interesting shapes? Could be a flower shape, right? You could have, oh, I don't know, really odd looking shapes. Like that. And that's what I'd like you to do. That's how you start out. And then when you get started on your actual project, you'll have this nearby to help you so that you could take all these ideas and see which ones work and don't work and put it into your art. So I'm going to start with my middle initial. I'm going to start with my M. Bottom of the paper. Up. Now I'm going to remember last time. I want to go down farther with my M. Oh yeah, that's good. There's my M right there. Not bad. Now I'm going to do the J. I want the top of the J there. I like the tops of my J's. This is going to come down, touch the bottom on the hook, and I also want to touch that side of the paper. So that's good there. Now I'm going to do this D. Top to the bottom, got to touch both sides. And now I want this D to touch the side of my paper here. And I'm going to come up this way and let it curve. Awesome. There it is right there. Now I'll take my marker and I'm going to finish this up with the black. It's okay if I don't get the letters exactly. I can erase any pencil marks I don't want. I want to be able to see that black line as I come around. So I need to see more of it. There we go. And now the J. It's going to be right at the top. I could go over it a couple times till I definitely know it's black. That's good. I'm going to come down, hook around, touch the bottom, touch the paper. I don't have enough black there, so I'm going to scoop some black in there like that. All set. Looking good. I'm going to take an eraser. I have a kneaded eraser. You could use a regular eraser. And I'm going to erase all the pencil lines now. Clean up the paper. Get rid of the lines I don't want. I would suggest that too if you're using a pencil. Oops, folded my paper. I think I'm working a little too fast. I crinkled my paper. Shame on me. All right, let's see if we can zoom that in a little more now. Whoa. All right, here we go. So now it's time to add all of the shapes and lines in either patterns or simple repetitions. And I'm going to start out simple. I'm going to start out with repetition. And I think I'm going to start out pretty easy too. And I'm going to start out with this section. This is all about negative space. Well, what's negative space? Right. For this right here, all these white areas that you see, that's all negative space. I'm going to start with a repetition of my shark teeth lines. I really like those. And I'm going to pick this negative space, this triangular space, inside the M. And my lines aren't going to look the same because I'm running out of space as I get to the side. See, it's shrinking as it goes down. So I'm going to see less and less of these lines. Oh boy, I'm really not seeing a lot right there. Maybe I'll see the bottom of another line right there. Cool. There's my first repetition right there. Lines. Now I'm going to pick another repetition. I'm going to have to choose another negative space. Ooh, here's a small one right here. Let's use this spot right here. And for this one, let's take a flashy red. And in here, I'm going to make circles. I'm going to repeat the circles. And it's not in a row. I'm not doing it in a row, but it's still a repetition. Maybe some circles I can barely see. Maybe it's like behind the J or something. But I'm not leaving this section of negative space. Put a couple tiny circles in there too. Really fill it up. There's my circles right there. So, I have this spot because it was closed. I have this spot because it was closed because the M touched the top right there. And maybe I'll take these two small sections too. As you can see, I'm starting small. I want to find all my small spots. That's touching the top right there. So this is going to be its own negative space right here. And this is going to be its own different negative space right there. I'm going to do spirals with flower shapes. And I'm going to make them go up and down like this. So I'm going to switch it up. And I'm going to make this the spiral color. So I'll put one here. Let's open this up. And there's two ways to do this. You can either go back and forth like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 petals. It's good to remember that. Do another spiral. And another flower shape. Like that. And I'm really going to switch it up. You can also do it this way. You can skip and then just do all your flowers with this. And then when you're done, you can go back and fill in all the spots with the spirals. You can do it either way. Whatever feels more comfortable for you. This would be one here. I can't put one up there. And then there'd be one more over here. Now I'm going to fill in my spirals. Get back here. There'd be one here. Maybe a little bit of one there. Maybe I could see part of one right here. And that's it. There's my pattern. Spiral, flower, spiral, flower, spiral. Flower, spiral, flower. And it keeps going. It's different this way. And it's different going up and down too. You can put that much detail in if you want. And you can make these really, really small and there'd be a lot more detail in it. Or you can make them a lot bigger if you like. I'm just going to use orange. And do wavy lines. They're a nice bright color right there. I like this color. See, again, I'm running out of room, so I can't do too much. Over here, I'm good. There we go. So I'm going to keep this going, right? One thing I'm seeing right here is I'm not too excited about the thickness of my black lines. I'm not crazy about it. I'm looking at it, and as I'm working, I'm seeing like, you know, if I keep going like this, I'm barely going to see those lines stand out. So before I go any further, I'm going to take that marker and I'm going to go like this. Do that up here too. And what I'm going to be doing is filling it in so that my line is thicker. I'm going to do that also. I'm going to thicken up this line. There you go, that looks a lot better. So I'm gonna make it thicker like this for the M and the D, and then I'm gonna go ahead and fill it with more patterns. Catch you on the flip side. Okay, so there's the finished product. It looks very complicated, but it's really not. So let's look at this spot here that like might look really complicated. All I did was, and I'll use this paper here, is I started out with lines that went like that. And then what I did is I went in there and I made these kind of rectangles and spaced them out. There's 3 right there. Fill it in. There's 3. And then what I did was every time there's a white one here underneath it, I'd put a purple one. And I kept them going back and forth like that. So really all this is right here are lines and rectangles. Okay, over here I started out with the green lines. I just made lots of green lines going like that. And then I looked in the middle in the negative space and I saw I could put a diamond in between each one. And then I went on to something else and then I looked at it after. I'm like, oh, I have more space in there. I'll just put little red dots in between. So that's what I did. Every time I got done with something like this, and I made yellow diamonds, just a yellow diamond line, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not crazy about that yellow. I don't see it really well. So I outlined it in green, and then I made the inside of it green, and then I filled in the middle diamond green, and then I had all these white spots in between. I just put little purple arrows all through there. 9 spots, all filled with shapes with repetition and patterns in it. Repetitions and patterns. I could see my initials really well because I made them nice and thick with the black lines, so they do still stand out. It doesn't read super quick, just kind of quick. You need to look at it for a while to understand what's happening, and that's what I like about it. So yeah, there's JMD. Let's see what you guys can make with your initials. Okay, and that's it. That's your first project, your level 1 project. Take a look at the other videos. You could try the other art projects too. Try them during the week. I usually create them as assignments, but just so you know, they're not graded and you don't really have to do them. You do them if you're interested in them. So there'll be 4 of them this week. So if anything piques your interest and you've got the time and you want to do some art, please go ahead and take a look at those videos. So I'm going to go over to the next video, and hopefully I'll see you there, and make sure you share the artwork, okay? All right, have fun drawing.